Hello and welcome back to my channel, Wanna Learn Danish. Velkommen tilbage til min kanal, Wanna Learn Danish. In today's lesson, you will learn how to introduce yourself. For example, what is your name? Allow me to introduce myself, and so forth. So you can say that this is a beginner's level, but if you feel like going through it again, stick around. Before we begin, if you haven't already pressed subscribe, go ahead, press on the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified whenever I have a new video ready for you. Are you ready? I am ready. Let's begin! So, you want to introduce yourself, and you are curious to hear what the other person is called. In Danish, there are two ways of getting the name of another person. Number one, hvad hedder du? What are you called? Hvad hedder du? Hvad hedder du? Number two, hvad er dit navn? What is your name? Hvad er dit navn? Hvad er dit navn? And of course, you would respond by saying, jeg hedder Sherlyn. Jeg hedder Sherlyn. Or you can say, mit navn er Sherlyn. Mit navn er Sherlyn. You can also say, hvad hedder du til efternavn? If you're asking for the surname. Hvad hedder du til efternavn? Or, hvad er dit efternavn? Hvad er dit efternavn? If you want to know the full name, you can ask, hvad er dit fulde navn? Hvad er dit fulde navn? And the other person will respond perhaps with, mit efternavn er Jensen. Mit efternavn er Jensen. Or, mit fulde navn er Sherlyn Jensen, for example. Jensen is actually not my surname, but it's a very popular surname in Denmark at least. If you just want to ask about the first name, you can say, hvad hedder du til fornavn? Hvad hedder du til fornavn? Or, hvad er dit fornavn? Hvad er dit fornavn? A little side note here. Denmark has a very flat structure. So even in business, when you're talking to your boss, when you're talking to your professor, most of the time you will be on a first name basis. So there is no need to call the other person Mr. Jensen. Simply call them by their first name. Calling someone by their last name might create some distance. And I promise you, we're not used to it in Denmark. Perhaps the older generation, but I believe for the newer generation, it doesn't have a lot of importance anymore. After you already introduced your names to each other, you might say, dejligt at møde dig. Or, hyggeligt at møde dig. Or, rart at møde dig. Rart at møde dig. Dejligt at møde dig. Hyggeligt at møde dig. Rart at møde dig. And the other person might respond with, i lige måde. Likewise. I lige måde. I lige måde. If you want to say, how are you? You can say, hvordan har du det? Hvordan har du det? Or how's it going? Hvordan går det? Hvordan går det? And the other person might respond with, det går godt. Or, jeg har det godt. Hvad med dig? And you can see here, hvad has a D in the end, but in Denmark, it's okay to lose the D in that word. Then you can simply say, hvad? Hvad med dig? Hvad med dig? If, for example, you see a person and you haven't been formally introduced, for example, at work in the canteen, you might go over to the person and say, hey, let me introduce myself. In Danish, you can say, Hej, tillad mig at introducere mig selv. Hej, tillad mig at introducere mig selv. Hej, tillad mig at introducere mig selv. Jeg hedder Sherlyn. This is a formal way of introducing yourself. But if you wanted it to sound a bit more informal, you could say, vi har vist ikke fået hilst på hinanden. Vi har vist ikke fået hilst på hinanden. Of course you could say, vi har ikke fået hilst på hinanden, leaving out the word vist. But adding the vist just makes the sentence seem a bit more friendly and approachable. Or you could also say, jeg har vist ikke fået hilst på dig. Hvad hedder du? Jeg har vist ikke fået hilst på dig. These phrases are more used when, for example, you've seen the person around, but you haven't been formally introduced. So you kind of know about each other, but you still need to say hi and let the other person know who you are. If, for example, you come into a group and there's a person you've never seen before, you can say, vi har vist ikke mødt hinanden før. Vi har vist ikke mødt hinanden før. Vi har vist ikke mødt hinanden før. Tillad mig at introducere mig selv. Jeg hedder Sherlyn. Hvad hedder du? So now you know how to introduce yourself to a person you don't know, as well as ask for the person's name. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Thanks for watching. If this was useful, remember to comment, like, or share. Thank you guys!